Hello there, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Today it's going to be a really fun makeup day because we're doing something a little bit different that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I decided that we would do it together. And it has to do with eyeshadow. We're kind of on the eyeshadow train these days. I just did an eyeshadow tutorial for mature hooded lids step by step. You guys really liked it. If you didn't see it, I'll go ahead and link it up here. What that did is it started me thinking about eyeshadow for mature lids. Of course, I think about that a lot, but more so about the difference between shimmer shadow and matte shadow. A lot of people in the beauty community say that matte eyeshadow looks better on mature lids. In other words, it reduces the look of wrinkles and crinkles and all the stuff that I seem to have on my lids now. I generally don't use only matte eyeshadow. I generally use a combination of matte and shimmer. But what I thought we would do today is I'm going to do matte eyeshadow on this eye and shimmer shadow on this eye, and we're all going to vote which one we like the best. If you're new here, welcome in. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 and over 60 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. I've gone ahead and put on my foundation, my concealer, and I've done my brows and added a little bit of contouring. I'm going to go ahead and do matte eyeshadow on this side and shimmer shadow on this side, and I'm going to do my best to keep the colorway very, very similar so that we can really vote on which one we like the best without being distracted by the colors. We're going to jump right into that now, and as always, all products that I use and mention today will be listed and linked below, so super easy for you to find. And with that, let's jump into the eyeshadow. For today's look, I'm going to use my Stone Cold Fox palette from ColourPop, and you can see it's a little bit tatty because I use this little sucker a lot. The reason I'm using this palette today is because it has such a wide range of colors, and as I stated, I'm going to try to do the colors the same on both eyes so that we can really compare the shimmer shade to the matte shade. I'm also going to do my best to do a very sophisticated, very classy look that's well blended out, so we have equal shadow examples to choose from. Now listen, you've got to vote. Down below, everybody's going to have a different opinion, and I'm really curious to find out what you guys think about the difference between a matte and a shimmer shadow on very mature eyes. I've prepped my eyelids with the lid lifting treatment from City Beauty. I've been using this a lot lately. I really like it. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to move this from my makeup table to my bathroom where my skincare is, because I don't wear makeup every day, and I have a feeling that this is going to work better if I use it every day. So I think I'm going to put this in my AM skincare bucket and just use it every morning regardless of whether I'm putting shadow on at all. I think it might work a little bit better. To prep my eyes, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eyeshadow Primer. Love this stuff because it does such a great job of covering up all the lines and veining on my lids. So I'm just going to tap that in all over both lids. I'm going to start off both eyes with the same foundation color, and that is this eggshell color. That's not the name of it. I can't read the name. It's too tiny. I'm going to use my Angie 503 brush. I'm going to get a whole lot of product on the brush, tap it off, and then that's just going to go all over both lids from top to bottom to just lay down a nice base for the look. Next, I'm going to take my 202 brush from BK Beauty. I'm going to tap it into this transition color right here. Tap that off, and that is also going to go over both eyes because that's what I would do with a shimmer shadow look anyway, is lay down a matte transition color. So this is going to go in that transition area right above each eye, and that's going to help push that hooded area back a little bit and create a little bit more depth and structure to my eyelid. I have no idea how this is going to come out or which one I'm going to like the most. I do know that I usually use a shimmer shade with my eyeshadow looks. Maybe I'll find out today that I really do like a matte shade better. So I'm just going to work that transition color right above my natural crease and almost up to that brow, just to define that area and give me a little bit more depth right above my natural crease and push that hood back in space. Now I'm going to go back in with that big fluffy brush and I'm going to blend that in really, really well. One thing that I've learned, at least on my eyelids, is that blending is the key. My eyes are crinkly and wrinkly enough, and if my shadow isn't blended out, it's really a distraction and just doesn't look pretty. Now I'm going to take that 202 brush and I'm going to dip it into this shimmer shade right here. Get a little bit on the tip of that brush, tap it off, and that's going to go on the shimmer side deeper into the crease. And I'm going to place my brush first off on the outside corner of my eye because that's where I want most of the product to go. And as my brush gets a little bit less product on it, I'm going to move it over towards the inside of my eye right around that crease line. Just wiggle it back and forth. I'm going to load up a little bit more on my brush, tap it off, and right back into that crease and down on the outside corner of that eye. Just really deepening that crease and creating more depth in that area. Now I'm going to clean my brush off. I just have a little rag here. It's not cute, but at least it's effective. I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip it into this little darker color over here. This is a matte shade. Tap that off and I'm going to do the exact same thing on this eye, only with the matte shadow. So I'm going to place that deep into my crease on the outside corner of my eye because that's where I want the most product. And I'm just going to start working that in, and as I get less product on my brush, I'm going to move that over towards the inside corner of my eye and just blend back and forth. I'm really curious to see if my eyes look less wrinkly and crinkly on the matte side because that's kind of the common tale. I don't know if it's true, but we're going to find out today. I'm going to load that brush up again, just on the tip, tap it off, and I'm going to place it right deep in that crease on the outside corner, and I'm going to move that down on my movable lid, just on the outside third of that eye. Now I'm going to take that big fluffy brush and I'm going to blend that into the transition color back and forth so it's really a smooth transition from that deep crease color up into the transition color. Now I'm going to take my trusty flat brush. I use the heck out of this. If you don't have a flat brush like this, you need to get one. They're so handy. And I'm going to dip it into this dark shimmer shade right here and just get product on the very tip of that brush. And I'm choosing this shade because it's a little bit darker and it's going to give me that emphasis to the outside corner on the shimmer shade eye that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to place that on the outside corner of my eye, move it into the crease and up a little bit towards the brow, kind of give me a lift. I'm going to load up more product on my brush and I'm going to bring that down along the lash line, kind of define that lash area. Now back in with that big fluffy brush and just blend that in. And I don't want to move that color too much. I want it to stay right in that area and define that outside edge of my eye. I just want it to have very soft edges. Now I'm going to take that same brush, I cleaned it off, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other eye, only with a matte color. So I'm going to dip into this darker color right here, get a little bit of that color right on the tip of my bristles, tap it off and place it on the outside corner of my eye, up into the crease, and then I'm going to angle it up towards my brow a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit more product on my brush and bring that down along the lash line. Now back in with that big fluffy blending brush. And again, I don't want to move that color very much. I want it to stay right in that area. I just want to soften the edges. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit more depth on the shimmer side because you can see the depth on this eye is a little bit greater. This shimmer shade that I put on the last one isn't quite as dark, so I'm going to choose another color from the palette. It's not going to be a shimmer shade because I don't have one, but we have a lot of shimmer on this eye, so I think it's going to stay within the theme. I'm going to take that flat brush, I'm going to dip it into this darker color right here, get a little product right on the tip, tap it off, and I'm going to place it right on the outside corner of my eye, up into the crease, up towards the brow. Then I'm going to get a little bit more product on my brush, tap it off, and down along the lash line. And I think that's going to give us just about the same amount of depth that we have on the matte side over here. Back in with that big fluffy brush, blend it in. So what do you guys think already? Do you have a vote already? Now I'm going to take my finger and dip it into this shimmer shade right here. You can see the color. And I'm going to place that on the movable lid of the shimmer shade Eye. And where I'm going to place my finger first is where I want the most product to go. So that's going to be right on the center of my lid. And I'm going to tap it in and start moving it back and forth to cover that whole movable lid. I'm not going to bring it all the way down to the corner here because I want to keep that dark emphasis on the outside corner, but I am going to move it up into the crease so that it looks like my lid is a little bit bigger than it actually is. Back in with that blending brush, and I'm just going to blend that edge into the crease. Then on the other side, I'm going to take my finger again and I'm going to dip it into this eggshell color that we started with in the beginning, get some on my finger right here, and that's going to get tapped on the movable lid. Again, I'm going to place my finger where I want the most product to go, and then just start moving it back and forth, leaving that outside area darker where we have added that depth color on the outside corner. Back in with my blending brush to blend that edge into the crease. Now I'm going to take a little detail brush. This is the Refer 02 brush. Love this brush. I'm going to dip it into that eggshell color again, get a little bit of product on both sides of my brush, and that's going to go right on the inside corner of both eyes just to lighten that area up a little bit. It does get a little bit shadowy in there because I have loose skin that creates kind of a little cavern, so I like to counteract that shadowing with a lighter color in that area. I'm going to take that same brush, same color, get a little bit of product on the brush, and that's going to be placed right under both brows towards the outside edge, just to add a little bit of lift to that area right underneath the brow. So there we have the shadow on both eyes. Do you think you know which one you're going to like the most? This is the shimmer side, this is the matte side. Here's how it looks. I'm going to jump off now and I'm going to line both eyes with my L'Oreal Lay Liner and Tight Line. Then I'm going to use my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Base and my Roller Lash Mascara, and I'll be right back. Here we have the finished look on both eyes. We have the matte shadow here and the shimmer shadow here. I'll go ahead and give you a close-up of both lids. So shimmer shadow here, matte shadow here. What do you guys think? I'm wondering if the matte shadow really does decrease the look of eyelid wrinkles. I kind of think that it does, but I'll tell you what, I'm torn. I do like the smoother look on the matte side, but I also enjoy the shimmer look on the shimmer side. So I'm not really sure that I could say I like one better than the other. I think they both have qualities that make them attractive. What do you think? Do you prefer the matte or the shimmer? Make sure you comment down below, because I'm really curious to find out what you guys think looks better and more appropriate for very mature, crinkly, wrinkly lids. Well, that was our little investigation into what shadows really work for mature eyelids. I hope you found this fun, useful, and helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. I had so much fun that you guys joined me for this today. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.